Yo, what's up? Oh, yeah. Today I'm covering 3 reasons why women love to hear your funny dating stories. All right, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. If you're new, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. All right, 3 reasons why women love to hear your funny dating stories. And you're probably thinking, Silver Bachelor, I'm on a date. Why would I talk about dating other people when I'm on a date? Well, stick with me because this is very important and you need to understand why. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons. I'll drop the 3 reasons first and then I'll explain each one as we go along. So, okay, number one is it tells her you're in demand. Okay? Number two, it lets them know you have standards. And then number 3, it makes them laugh. All right, if you want to bail, go ahead. If you want to stick around, great, keep watching and I'll explain each 3. So, number 1, you're in demand. This is probably the most important thing right here. Women do not want to go out with desperate men. They do not want to go out with men that have no options. Competition, they hate competition, but they love competition, okay? When they know you have options and you're dating regularly, they will want you more. The women are by nature hypergamous. They're looking for the best option, especially the younger they are, the more hypergamous, the more options they have. I've mentioned this many, many times in my videos. I'll mention it again if you haven't seen these other videos, is on dating apps, women will get 50 to 100 likes, messages in their dating app per day. And if you don't believe me, I met this woman at a restaurant bar. She was 32, at best average looking, maybe a 5, maybe with some makeup. No, she was a 5. She was a 5. And she was telling me she joined Bumble and she had 58, she showed me her phone. She had 5,800 likes in 90 days. That's 64 per day. Damn. So us guys basically have very little chance on these dating apps. Like you're lucky if she sees your profile, right? So I'm just saying this because women have options like you would not believe. And they kind of want the same thing in a guy. Obviously, they don't want to go out with a hoe that's a guy and he's just sleeping around and stuff. But they are attracted to men that have a lot of options. Why the heck do you not, like, when women see a celebrity, they go absolutely bonkers. Fame, right? They know that guy has options like off the charts, and they gravitate to him like it's like flies on shit, right? So women want to know that you're in demand. And here's something very, very, I'm going to give you a little secret thing. So I was on a date recently, solid 8. And we get on the topic of dating, and I share a couple funny stories. And she says, oh, because she was like, well, you knew you had some red flags. She was telling me this. She's like, well, you knew you had some red flags with this girl, but why did you keep it going? And I'm like, well, I was very attracted to her. And then she's like, well, geez, she must have been beautiful. And I said, well, I don't know if she was beautiful, but I was very attracted. And she kind of looked at me and shook her head. She's like, wait, you didn't find her beautiful? And I said, no, like she was very attractive, but I don't want to throw around the word beautiful that often. And then she goes, well, do you have a picture of her? All right. The reason why I said it the way I did is because the girl that she was referring to was actually really hot. Okay. But I wanted to downplay it. So I bring up my phone, I show her some pictures, and she looks at them. She goes, oh my God, she's beautiful. What are you talking about? And then I said, look, maybe I just see her in a different way now because of all the red flags, and eventually her beauty dropped like in levels. And I stopped seeing her as attractive as she is. And so that's the place I'm coming from. And she's like, oh, but man, She, it's like a light switch went on. When after she saw photos of one of the girls that I dated, she became even more physically affectionate with me. Like it was stunning. But I'm not surprised. So this is what I mean. The number one, she needs to know you're in demand. And if she asks to see a picture of your ex, hopefully she's a good-looking ex, and she will desire you even more when she sees those pictures because now it's like full-on competition. So when you share funny stories, as long as it doesn't make you seem like an idiot, but you share funny stories, which, for example, I'll give you another one. I was on a date a couple months ago, and I use this story a lot in my conversations, sharing funny stories. Is she was a vegetarian, I'm a carnivore pretty much, and one of the things is she had something on her plate, and I said, "Hey, that looks really good. Do you mind if I have some?" She said, "Sure." So I used my fork. I went over to grab some, and she's like, "Do you mind getting a new fork? Because I don't want any cross contamination." Cross contamination? Uh, so, so anytime and then that's not the only thing. And then later on, she tells me she counts squares of toilet paper. Who counts squares of toilet paper? Like that is the most OCD thing one of the most OCD things I've ever heard of. So I use that example, true story, in my other dates when we're talking about dating, and I was like, oh yeah. So because they'll say to me, why are you single? And my response will be, well, maybe I'm picky, but I run into some very interesting characters, for example. And then I throw that out there. And then she'll laugh, ha ha ha, that's funny. And then depending on um, the situation where the conversation's going, I might bring up that really hot, it was a Brazilian girl actually that was really hot that I talked about with the photos. So that's number one. Number one is you're in demand and you have options, right? And when you say, yeah, I was on a date last week or I was on a date 2 months ago, whatever, guys, even if you haven't been on a date in months, don't say that because her desire will plummet because you're like, this guy's not in demand. I know you have to kind of tell a bit of a white lie, but maybe try to avoid it or whatever. But if she says, so when was your last relationship? That's different. But if she says, when was your last date? Which most women will not ask that when was your last date, but don't say, well, it was really great to meet you. And I think you're cute. And my last date, I haven't been on a date in 3 months. That's killer, dude. Killer. She wants to know you had a date last night or you had a date last week. I'm serious. It might piss them off a little bit, but it works. So, number two, it lets them know you have standards. So when you share a funny story, like the one I just told you, where she said no cross contamination, she counts squares, I will say, look, I was very attracted to her, but I'm like, I will say I cannot deal with someone with OCD issues. So bye. So they realize, wait a minute, this guy's going to tell me to kick rocks if I don't if I'm not bringing my best foot forward, and he's not shy to say bye because he has options. So that's why it's also important to share these funny stories. So number three, right, it makes them laugh. They have a great time. They laugh. They think it's funny, and all the short stories that I share are. I try to only share the funny ones, not the, oh, by the way, don't ever say, oh, that my ex girlfriend was crazy. Oof, because she's going to be like, why are you attracting crazy people? Even if they were. So I'll leave you with this. All right. The sharing the funny stories, like they, it increases their desire. They know you're in demand and it's funny. It breaks the ice. It puts yourself in a position of where you have these options, right? And they're just going to want you even more when they know there's competition. Okay. And the thing is that, so I've been single for the last 2 years, and man, guys, I've been on over like hundreds of dates. I date all the time. And sometimes it's only one date, only two dates, whatever. But in general, one of the reasons why I go out on so many dates because it's content for this channel, right? It's awesome. And I have stories to share, lots. So don't be shy to talk about your dating experiences, funny ones, without making yourself look like an idiot, right? On your first date, even second date. And like I said, they want to know you're in demand. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.